Good afternoon. How are you, Yashaswini ma'am, Snigdha ma'am? All the best for the event. The other resource person is yet to join us, Dr. Sarah.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you, sir? Thank you.
So we are on air, I think. It's being live streamed now on YouTube. So we are awaiting the second resource person, Yashaswini ma'am. Can you hear me, Yashaswini? You could hear me, right, Snigdha ma'am? Yashaswini ma'am, you can hear me?
Yes, sir. Very much, sir.
Can you hear me, Yashaswini? I think there seems to be an issue with her speaker. Can you hear me? Hello, Yashaswini. She has to raise her speaker's volume, it seems. Can you call her and let her know that she is not able to hear us?
I'll do that, sir.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of Mayur Chapasni School, I, Yashaswini Khichi, Counseling Faculty, take the opportunity to welcome our Honorable Principal Sir, Mr. Sharad Tiwari, Senior Counselor Ma'am Snigdha Singh, my colleagues and all the lovely parents who all are watching this webinar. As we all know that the parent-child relationship has major influences on most aspects of child development. This webinar is organized to provide support and information in ways that help parents become more capable and competent in understanding their child's behavior. So, to share their knowledge and experience, we have amongst us our eminent speakers, Dr. Sara Javed, working as Assistant Professor in Department of Psychology, Aligarh Muslim University, and Dr. Mini Mehra, Special Educator and Counselor, working as lecturer in Madhya Pradesh State School Education Department from last 23 years. A warm welcome to both of you, ma'am. I would request the parents to keep posting their valuable questions in the comment box. And now I would request our Honorable Principal Sir to address the audience.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I'm so happy to see the resource persons here, and it's a pleasure to be part of a program where we are going to be talking about and dealing with the core issues related to education, which is the child himself or herself. And today's webinar is about parenting skills. It's a beautiful term, parenting skills, as if, like we have carpentry, plumbing, and all these are skills. Parenting is also considered to be a skill. But for a short moment, I would like to shift your focus to the term, the art of parenting. Yes, parenting is an art. कला है बच्चों को पालना, परवरिश करना, उन्हें बड़ा करना. Some of you may not agree with me, but it can be compared to any other art. जितनी ज्यादा इसमें हम मेहनत करते, जितना इसके बारे में हम पढ़ते सीखते हैं, उसी तरह से हम अपनी जो कलाकृति को बनाते हैं, वो उतना सुंदर निखर कर बनने की संभावना बढ़ जाती है. And as a matter of fact, it is becoming more and more challenging in a very complex world where parents have to bring up their children. That way, I feel little relieved that my children are past their school years. Now, probably I have hardly anything to have any influence on them. अब वो वक्त निकल चुका, मेरे बच्चे इतने बड़े हो चुके हैं. But for you parents, the age group that we are talking about, especially we are dealing, we have chalked out this program for parents whose children are with us from nursery till class 5. And when I say it's becoming more and more challenging, the reasons can be discussed uh, at length at any other time, probably another day, another occasion. But the more important thing is the loser can be the child. किस वजह से parenting मुश्किल हो सकती है? And it's something that cannot be reversed. You know, once it is made, it is made. आप घर बनाते हैं, एक बार बनाते हैं, पसंद नहीं आया, you can go for another one. You can sell that house out. तो ये बचपन वापस नहीं आता. That's why this becomes a very, very important topic. And I'm so happy to my colleagues Yashaswini and Snigdha ma'am for having worked so hard to get really capable resource persons to help us out today. I'm going to learn a lot because I'm in this profession of caregiving to young children as well as teenagers. And it's a matter of fact that the development of the creative potential of every child is facilitated when we adult caregivers are focused not just on the cognitive capacities such as critical thinking and problem solving. These are the terms we often hear people use, but also on the social, ethical, emotional capacities and dispositions of a child. So how can the parents help in this regard? That's the big question. That's why we are addressing the parents, not the children this time. And how can the parents help and be joint partners in the same frequency as teachers and the school? One simple way I think is if parents can tone down a rhetoric of marks lao, report card में topper marks, इसको थोड़ा सा टोन डाउन कर दीजिए तो बच्चा एक बैलेंस बच्चा बनने की चांसेस अच्छे हैं. That's why in our school we emphasize co-curricular activities as much as we do academics. Sports, games are a great de-stressor. Since today's topic is going to be about the emotional and mental well-being of the child, you know, it's very important that we take care of this aspect because the child is in its formative years, the human being changing very fast, and we have to take care the child becomes a strong adult emotionally, mentally. Other things can fall in place later, or maybe not at all. Still, it's very important. वरना दुनिया क्या कर रही है बच्चों को? What is to be the right order has to be happy, healthy, capable, but then focus is being shifted to capable first, happy and healthy, we don't care. That can be a dangerous turning point. That can be a dangerous event in the life of a child over a period of years. And I'm very happy to bring to your kind notice and bring up the issue of the new education policy, which has been unveiled only recently. And what is going to matter most to you, dear parents? It's because your children, the age group your children belong to, will be impacted the most by this new education policy. If you look at the slide, I'm trying to do a screen share, and if you just look at the slide, here is an excerpt from the NEP 2020. Earlier, we used to have the academic structure of 10 plus 2. The previous years were hardly paid attention to as per the policy document we had until now. But now they are talking about a very different structure. They have given a lot of emphasis to the foundational years and the preparatory and the middle years. So I've got a couple of pages from the policy document. It's a 66 pages of exhaustive document, the new education policy. And the next slide will tell you, just notice the number of times the word parent appears in this document. I've just taken page number 17 from this policy, the PDF document that I had. Look at the number of times parent. What does that signify? It signifies the important role a parent must play in the education, the growth of a child. You may argue there is nothing new in it. I also agree, koi nayi baat nahi hai. But to see this reference in the new education policy tells us that somehow, somewhere, there is a lack of it. It has become a need. That's why, for the student development, I would like to lay once again greater emphasis on the parental role. It's not just the school. पढ़ाई स्कूल में होती है, पेरेंट का काम खत्म हो गया, ऐसा नहीं है. And I would also like to request the learned resource persons today to shed some light on the concept of delayed gratification today, especially in view of the fact that the young ones run the risk of growing with a strong feeling of entitlement. ये मुझे मिलना ही चाहिए और अभी मिलना चाहिए. Now that can be a dangerous way to bring up a child. So I would like to now conclude my opening remarks, my address, by requesting the parents to freely pose questions during the program, make it more interactive and beneficial for all attending, all watching. तो पेरेंट्स जी भर के सवाल कीजिए और जुड़े रहिए हमारे एक्सपर्ट्स के साथ, इस कार्यक्रम का पूरा आनंद उठाइए. Thank you. All the best.
Thank you, sir, for your words of wisdom. I'd now request Dr. Sara to start with her session.
Good evening and thank you, Yajaswini. Am I audible? Am I?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You're audible.
Okay. Okay. So first of all, I'm glad to be a part of this live webinar, and I would like to express my gratitude to Mr. Sharat Tiwari, sir, principal of your school, and Yajaswini, who's counselor of the school. And yes, it's a great opportunity which I have got basically in which I'll be dealing with the issues which a child faces or the currently, and how the parents should deal with those issues. So the lot which we have taken into consideration is the adolescent one. The adolescent, we'll be catering the needs of adolescents. So the adolescent, this sector is a sector which is basically which requires a lot of attention, which is actually a center of attraction for most of the psychologists and counselors as well. You may agree with me, because this sector is the most vulnerable sector of a society, which is undergoing a lot of crisis, which is undergoing a lot of psychological issues. There are certain physical issues as well which this sector is facing. This sect is facing, in fact, and like certain problems related to anxiety, certain problems related to your relationship, related to your career, related to your academics. So these are certain problems which adolescents usually face. And this is the reason why they become one of the most center of attraction for the psychologists or for the counselors. Now the question is, like, why we should always be concerned about their mental health or emotional health. Parents may be wondering, why not us? We are the people who have to take care of ourselves. Along with us, we have to take care of our kids as well. So the question is, the answer to this question is, why the sector is mostly addressed is that they are the generation, they are our future, they are the budding scholars, they are the budding entrepreneurs, they are the budding doctors, the lawyers, the society makers. They are the futures, and yes, they are the budding parents as well. So whatever activity you are doing, or whatever role you are basically playing, or whatever, just please allow me to share my screen. I have my presentation also.
Just a second, ma'am.
Yeah, you can take your time. So this is the reason why we should be very critical while dealing with them, and parents should be basically trained how to deal with kids. They should be given proper education. They should be taught certain skills, like what they can do so as to make their child a better human being. Not only a better doctor, but a better human being who is emotionally competent. Because why a successful doctor is committing suicide? The reason behind this is lack of being emotionally competent. The concept of emotional quotient is over here. The main thing is that you should deal with your child in such a manner that you make them emotionally quotient. Yeah, I'm able to share it now. Thank you. Yeah. So the thing is like when a child is born, his mind is like a wet clay. Okay. So whatever activities you will be doing, whatever gestures you will be showing to your child, let it be the verbal cues, let it be the non-verbal cues, it will leaving certain imprints on that wet clay. It's like a tabula rasa. Tabula rasa, it's blank slate. So the way you are treating your child, the way you are basically talking to your child, the way you are interacting with your child, the way you are addressing the queries of your child, those all these things will be written down on that blank slate, and they are already writing it down, and that thing will ultimately affect them in the future, because this is how they are molding. They are, like I said, their mind is like a wet clay. The imprints are being left behind, so this is going to affect them in future. So the thing is ki, we should basically, as there are a lot of issues, and if I keep on taking each and every issue related to the academics, related to their relationship, it will going to take a lot of time. As currently we are basically living in the current situation in which we all are entrapped is the COVID-19. And what type of problems basically are arising during this phase, and how a parent can basically address those problems, or how a parent should deal with the queries which the children are asking them. This is the topic which I will be exclusively focusing on right now. So see, as the slide shows, these are the certain feelings which the parent is facing right now. Like a parent is anxious, he's sad, he's frustrated, he's angry. Obviously, he's having guilt as well. So these things are what a parent is facing, and on these are our own personal feeling. On top of it, we have to deal with the feelings of our children as well. Like a child may be agitated, he may be nervous, he may be bored, he may be sad, he may be confused. So the responsibility of a parent gets doubled. It's not only that he need to cater his own needs, he need to address the queries, the problems which the children are facing, and it's lot. I know, I understand the situation. I, being a parent of a small kid, I can basically relate to it, that yes, it is a lot. And whatever job you people are doing, it's great. So before proceeding further, I just want to quote the announcement which you people hear when you enter the aeroplane. I'm sure you must have traveled in aeroplane. So what the lady announces over there, the lady say, or the gentleman say, he says that it is important to wear your oxygen mask first before you help others. You're getting my point. It is mandatory for you people, for being a parent. It's very necessary initially to address your problems, to take care of your issues, to take care of these negative thoughts which are coming in your mind first. Then only you will be able to help your child. Then only you will be able to address the needs of your child. If and by chance any mishappening takes place in an aeroplane, and you're not wearing the mask, what will happen? Will you be able to help your co-passenger? No. So they announce it beforehand. It's important for you to wear your mask first before helping the others. Likewise, being a parent, the first and foremost thing which is important is that you should first address your problems. You should basically know how to take care of your issues. Then only you'll be able to help your children. Now, the how to basically cater your problems is a big topic. The thing right now I'm concerned with that what skills you should basically use. So I'll be talking about the negative emotion which a child is facing, with the child is with each and let it be. It's not only specific, especially related to this pandemic. It can be any time. Every child faces certain anxiety blues. There are certain negative emotions which they undergoes through. And the anxiety, maybe this terminology is not familiar to you people. Anxiety is basically an unpleasant emotion that is experienced while anticipating something negative will happen in future. This is what anxiety is. Like, for example, what you people are in the current phase, we people may be thinking that maybe in future we don't know what will be the end of this pandemic, where we are going to land, whether a job will be secured or not. So basically, right now, our children are having this anxiety feeling, and these anxiety feelings are gradually resulting in negative emotions, or negative emotions are gradually leading to anxiety feelings. So how to basically counter respond to this thing? How to? The question is how you can counter respond to it. So the first and foremost thing is you should increase the control items, like whatever things which are in your hands, whatever things which you think you can control, you should first and foremost focus on those things. Then you should basically respond potentially to the negative emotion. Now the question arises, how we will respond potentially to the negative emotions? The answer to it is there are certain strategies you can basically use. The first and foremost thing which you need to know is that negative emotion arises when your value is threatened. Okay, so whenever your value will be threatened, it will ultimately lead to development of negative emotion. Okay, so now see, let me give you an example, current example. Like a child is saying that I'm sad, that I'm not able to get time to spend with my friends. So what we do, we basically don't see, we don't try to focus on the value thing. We just simply respond, okay, you're not able to um, spend time with your friend. Maybe you can go and do some other activity or something like that. This is the way in which we respond to the problems which a child come with. But actually how we should respond is, we should see that what is the underlying value of it. The underlying value in this negative emotion is of social connectedness. You see, social connectedness is being threatened. This value of social connectedness is being threatened, and this is the reason why your child is basically sad. The other thing is, when your child comes and say that I'm scared, I'm going to get coronavirus. Now what can be the value which is hidden behind it? The value of physical health is hidden. He is concerned about his physical health. That is why he's being scared. Now if he's scared for some other person in the family, like he is afraid that his grandparent may get the virus, then the value of loved one is being threatened. If he's feeling guilty, he feeling guilty that he cannot do anything anything to help others. This means the value of purpose, or the thing which is being threatened is that he's not able to contribute to the society. And again, if he feel that if he is angry on the government that no proper this thing was taken into action since the beginning, the this thing, the testing and all these started a bit late, then the value of political leadership is being threatened. So you see, we are basically not looking at the values. What we are seeing, I will show you how we respond to the emotions. If a child come and say, Mama, we are sad, I'm not able to spend time with our parents, with our friends. So you are saying, come on, go watch Netflix. You can go and do some Instagramming, or you can come cook with me, or whatever. You are responding to this emotion in this manner. You're not addressing the value over here. Okay, if your child is scared, what you are saying, you're saying, okay, you stay, what you do one thing, beta, you just sit in front of the news, you keep on watching that what is the situation, how the situation is. You are not addressing the value. You're not addressing the value again over here. If your child is afraid your grandmother may get ill, you are yelling at your mother. You're scolding your mother to stay inside, not to go outside. So we are not addressing the values of the emotions. We are basically not addressing the emotions in a proper manner. Now I will show you how you should respond to such emotions. Like, if a child comes and say that he's sad and I don't get time to spend with my friends, or if your child is scared, or if he's afraid, then you should basically, these values should be considered, and the response will be a bit different if you will start considering the values. Like, for example, if you will come and say, I want to, I'm feeling sad that I'm not able to get in touch with my family, friends, you will ask your child to schedule a Zoom or Skype gathering with friends, or to text your friend, or to write a letter to them. So in this manner you will actually be addressing the social connectedness. You are not responding in a vague manner. You are actually addressing the underlying value to it. Okay, now if your child is scared, it's the value of physical health is over here. You may ask your child to do a 10-minute home workout, or you may ask him to plan a meal that makes his body feel good, or to continue to practice social distancing and sprinkle it up with certain health related strategies. So you see, this is how we should respond. So the first thing which each and every parent should know is that whatever question your child is coming with, whatever doubt, whatever query, whatever that thoughts are coming in your child's mind, you should not simply address it in a vague manner. You should try to explore that, okay, these are the things which might be affecting my child. This is the value which is being threatened, and because of which this negative emotion has arisen. So this was the first technique that you should follow. You should basically respond according to the values. The next technique is to focus on the thoughts. So thoughts are very powerful weapons. Let me tell you, these are the very powerful weapons, and it's very important for parents to basically address the thoughts. And when I'm in this slide, I'll be talking about worry. Like, worry is a top type of future oriented thought. Like, it's like, what will happen in future. Sometimes worry is good also, because it will be of help, because it may keep you motivated, it may keep you safe, it may, like in current situation, it may basically help you following the social norms. But at times it becomes problematic as well. When it becomes problematic, when it becomes overwhelmed, when we are basically it leaves a feeling of unpleasantness, when it becomes beyond our control, then worry becomes problematic. And the current situation, thanks to this pandemic, that the current situation have all the aspects which can increase your worry. That is, it is ambiguous, it is novel, and it is unpredictable, and all these factors lead to increase in your worry. I will give you a simple example of worry chain. Suppose a child talks to a grandparent, and while talking to the grandparents, your grandparents start coughing on the phone. So now this thing, see what happens. This thing will trigger the child mad, and your child will start thinking, "What if my grandfather parents have COVID-19, is diagnosed with COVID-19?" Then another thought will come. She's 75 years old. She's more likely to get really sick. It will be followed by another thought. What if she has to go to the hospital and there aren't any ventilators? Which will followed by another thought. And this thought will be, what if she dies alone in the hospital and we aren't even able to visit her? So you see how a neutral thought could quickly spiral up into series of worries. It can quickly result into series of worries. So, in the current situation, there are certain worries. Like, for example, let me quickly go to it. Some of them are that if a family member may get virus, and what if my friends are hanging out without me? How I'll be able to do my school work? how I will be able to adjust back when my school reopens, or these are certain common worries which children are facing these days. So how you can address these worries? I will be telling you certain strategies. The first and foremost one is restructuring of thoughts. So restructuring of thoughts, there is the one very famous technique, which is basically you stop. It's stop. This is the very famous technique which we psychologists, which we counselors, therapists use for dealing with the certain problems which our client faces. It is stop. So in this, what will happen? You ask your child, what is the situation that is making you feel worried right now? So the first and foremost thing is you ask about the situation. Like, what is the thing which is making him worried now? Now that stands for S. Then you ask your child, what is your worry thought? Like in that situation, what type of thought is coming to you? You may help your child using certain detective thinking to look for evidences for and against that thought as well. Next, you will ask your child, what is another more balanced thought you could have? Thought which has arisen. Then finally, praise your child for the hard work coming up with an alternative thought. So this is the technique which you can use. I will give you an example of it. See, suppose suppose your child is there, and this is the situation. You ask your child that what is the situation that is making you feel worried right now. Your child may say, I can't reach my friend on WhatsApp calling. My friend is not receiving my call. I don't know what's the problem. Then you ask your child, what's your worry thought? So if he's not receiving your call, then what's your worry thought? Why it is making you upset? Your child may respond, my friend doesn't want to talk to me. Now what? Now your role comes into action. You need to ask your child to do detective thinking, and you may help him, you may assist him in doing detective thinking to look for evidences for and against this thought. You may ask your child, have you been able to talk to your friend this week? What are other ways you can stay connected or reach out instead of WhatsApp calling? What else do you think your friend could be doing in their home right now? Are there any other reason they might be busy or not able to pick up the call? Then you ask your child that, now you tell me, what is another most balanced thought you could have? Now your child thought थोड़ा सा बदल जाएगा उसका यहाँ पे उसका respond आएगा that maybe my friend is busy with his family right now, but that doesn't mean they don't want to talk to me. I could still text him after some time. So see how his thought has changed from the thought which was making him upset has been changed to a more positive one. For this thought which your child gives, you need to praise your child. Reward reinforcement is very important while you are doing parenting. Reinforcement is very important. Praise your child for a simple, एक जरा सी भी कोई अच्छी चीज करे. Praise your child. Praise your child for their hard work of coming up with an alternative thought. And I say, good thinking. Let me give you another example of it. Suppose a child comes and you ask your child that what is the problematic situation. Your child is their child is transitioning to remote learning. Now ask your child, what is your worry thought? Your child may say that I'm going to fall behind in schoolwork. Now support your child in the detective thinking to look for the evidences for and against his thought. You may ask your child, do you know what homework you need to do today? What else could happen with your schoolwork besides you falling behind? What could you do to get help if you need it? So उसके उस thought को आपको challenge करना है एक पॉजिटिव पॉसिबल ऑल्टरनेटिव के लिए, और ये नहीं करना है कि आप उसे सजेस्ट करें. लेट योर चाइल्ड डू डिटेक्टिव थिंकिंग, लेट हिम एक्सप्लोर इट, बिकॉज देन ओनली ही विल बिकम इमोशनली मोर कॉम्पिटेंट. लेट हिम बेसिकली ट्राई टू एक्सप्लोर द पॉसिबल एविडेंसेस. Then you ask your child, what is another more balanced thought? The child may come up with an alternative thought, like my teacher are still there to help me and are finding new ways to help me learn. And I can ask my parent for help if I get stuck. Now you need to praise your child for this alternative thought. Just एक simple shift उसके एक negative thought से positive thought में जो होगा वही उसके अंदर एक drastic change ले आएगा. And because this is just an example, this technique is just an example. Stop is used for each This thing can be used by parents also. Whenever they encounter certain negative thought, this technique is used by them also to turn that into the more rationalized thoughts. These are basically irrational thoughts which are to be converted into rational thoughts. Another technique is postponing of worry. Now, for postponing of worry, you what happened basically. When you when your child comes to you with certain problematic situations, and every now and then your child is coming to you ki, ma'am, this is mama, this is my problem, this is my problem, every now and then. अब यहाँ पे हम क्या गलती कर देते हैं कि हर बार उसकी वरी को एड्रेस करते हैं. Yeah, things may be different because you are parent and आपसे ज्यादा या एक टीचर से ज्यादा अपने बच्चे को कोई नहीं जान सकता है. So things may be different in the type of worry which they are coming at. Like you may be I'm specifying it that you should be very vigilant कि आपका child depressed तो नहीं है, because अगर depression में आप worry postponement करेंगे तो that can lead to certain societal tendency also, because they'll not get a support from another end. This worry postponement is basically for the current scenario which we are facing, or for certain minor issues which your child is undergoing. So there are certain 3 steps which you may adopt. First step is the preparation one. In this preparation step, you have to decide the timing and duration of worry time. Like you need to set a time ki, okay, beta, at 7 p.m. I will be taking all your worries, and for 15 minutes. So whatever problem you are having, we will sit. We will have a cup of tea or coffee or drink, whatever, and we will basically discuss the problems which you are facing for 15 minutes. Specify the time as well, for the duration as well. Now, what happened? The thing is, you have to postpone the worry. So during the day, if your child expresses worries, encourage them to postpone thinking about them until the scheduled worry time comes, and help them direct their attention to focus on the present. So now your child is every now and then coming, I'm not able to solve this problem. I'm not able to gel up with my friends. I'm not able to deal with this emotion. You will be like, okay, we will be addressing this issue in itne time pe. Abhi, you have to focus on your present. You have to focus on what task I've given to you. Okay, we will address your issue. Assure them that you will address their issue. And then comes the worry time. During this time, your child can use their dedicated time to worry. You can use you and your child will sit together and they will address the worries. But why we are postponing? क्या होता है अक्सर जब हम लोग चाइल्ड को मोटिवेट करते हैं वरी को पोस्टपोन करने के लिए, उस फेज के बीच में वो कहीं ना कहीं उस वरी का सोल्यूशन ढूंढने की भी कोशिश करता है. So इससे they become more emotionally competent. Okay, if we are basically, जैसे बच्चा हमारे पास आया, हमने उसके थॉट को एड्रेस कर दिया, हमने उसको इतना केपेबल होने का मौका ही नहीं दिया कि वो अपने थॉट्स को डील करने का उसको अपॉर्चुनिटी नहीं दी. So it is worry postponement. This is the reason why worry postponement is very important. So older children may find it helpful to write down the worries they remember having during the day and consider whether they are still worried about them. So at the end of the day, when at 7 p.m. you will sit with your child and you will ask, tell me, what are the worries? So maybe your child will say, Mama, wo wala problem to solve ho gaya, ye wala reh gaya hai. You will, if you try this technique, you will basically encounter such responses from your child. Younger children may find some prompting from their parents to be helping, like, do you remember what you were worried about earlier? Are you still worried about it now? But you should show your curiosity also, because बच्चे को ये assurance होना चाहिए कि yes, their parents are there to listen to them. It's not like कि वो बस मेरी बात को टाल रहे हैं. उनको ये assurance होना चाहिए कि their parents are there to listen to them. But why we are postponing the worry? Worry postponing is basically to help them mature more, to get more mature, to help them to deal with the problem effectively. So during this time, parents can encourage reflection on whether these worries are something the child or family can take action on. Next strategy is practicing mindfulness. Mindfulness is a very common, it's a technique, it's a type of therapy which is being used as a therapeutic module also now, and बहुत अच्छे effects mindfulness के आ रहे हैं. Now, in practicing mindfulness step by step, you will, when your child basically comes and expresses a worry thought to you may encourage them to describe the situation in a fact way. Like you may ask them to describe the situation. ऐसे बताओ जैसे कि तुमने उसे जब देखा था पूरे properly उसको describe करो. Your child may say that we were walking down the streets in our neighborhood at 2 p.m. when a neighbor walked by. Now encourage them to describe what sensation they noticed. Now, the sensation what your child notices, I noticed that my muscles were tensed up and my hands were sweaty. What sensation you noticed in yourself? Now, encourage them to describe what emotions they notice. I noticed that I was feeling scared. Now, encourage them to describe what thoughts they notice. I was having the thought that I could catch the virus from our neighbor. You're getting my point. So see, what is basically in सारी चीजों को करने का क्या gist है? You are making him aware and get aware of the present situation. The present situation में आपने क्या क्या, you will ask him to describe it, you will ask to describe the sensation which they notice, you will ask them to describe the emotion which they felt, you may ask the child to describe the thoughts which came in the mind at that time. So after you help your child mindfully notice the experiences, you can ask if anything has changed about their worry thoughts. So if they will mindfully notice their experiences, it might change their worry thought as well. Because mindfulness is about paying attention to the present moment in non-judgmental manner. It's like by supporting your child in practicing mindfulness, you're helping them to redirect their focus to here and now, rather than by getting swept up what if. You're not supposed to, it's like if your child is worried, you think, okay, you are worried about the pandemic, but right now when you're talking to me, what are you feeling, how you are feeling right now? I know you are concerned about the pandemic, but focus in the present moment. Like maybe parents are worried that how they will basically cater the needs of the children, but right now what you are basically actively participating in this live webinar, you are basically in here and now situation, rather than focusing on the past, and you are in the present moment and you are being non-judgmental at this time. So practicing mindfulness may be especially helpful in tolerating uncertainty and enabling kids to focus on one thing at a time. Another technique is how to address my child anxieties in the moment. So see, this is the thing which all of us basically fell in traps of. This is ABCs of parents trap. What is A? A is agreeing with your child anxious assessment of the situation. Whatever your child comes, you will agree to it. हाँ भाई कोरोना वायरस हो रहा है, बहुत परेशानी, भाई हाँ मैं समझ रहा हूँ, तुम पढ़ नहीं पा रहे हो. Okay, this is agreeing. B is basically butting in, like over involvement or over protection and intrusiveness, limiting opportunities for independence. हाँ भाई वर्चुअल लर्निंग तुम्हारे लिए मुश्किल हो रही है, चलो आओ मैं तुम्हारे साथ बैठ के हेल्प करता हूँ, मैं तुम्हारा होमवर्क करा देता हूँ, मैं तुम्हारे इश्यूज को एड्रेस कर देता हूँ. दिस इज बी. C is criticizing or coldness. This is showing frustration or anger towards anxiety, behaving less warmly when your child is anxious. I will give you an example of it. Now, yeah, these are the parenting trap, and what you should actually do is you should actually empathize and encourage with your child. You should show empathy for their feeling, and you should express confidence in the ability to face fear. How you will do this? Suppose your child comes and he say, "Mama, I'm scared of going out. I cannot go out in the garden. I'm scared of going out." So you will be like, "There's nothing to be scared of. You're being silly. Let's go for this walk." Now, see, this is the thing. You are basically trying. This is how you basically try to address your child problem. Then you may say they say it's safe to go outside, but you never really know. The news is saying something new every day. The virus could be anywhere or anything. Now see, in the first situation, you are being cold. You are like, don't be silly. There is nothing to be scared of. Come on, let's go for a walk. In the second situation, which type of trap you are falling in? In the second situation, you are basically being involved. You are basically among these three traps, you are basically agreeing with your child. Okay, in the second situation, you are agreeing with your child. So that is also not the correct way of addressing your child worry. The best way is to empathize and encourage. How you will respond? I know you're feeling scared, but I know you can be brave and take our 10-minute walk. I saw you do it yesterday. So see, you will empathize with your child also, and you will encourage him to do that particular act as well. Now, the next thing is your attention. Your parental attention is one of the most effective tools we happen to have in shaping adaptive child behavior. So, if you give more attention to your child, there will be increase in the behavior. This is a very tricky thing. I'm telling you. ये नहीं करना है कि अपनी child के हर एक query को address करना है, because there are two skills. Let me tell you. First one is active ignoring, and the second one is label praise. Let me explain what is this. You will explain. Before explaining about these skills, I want to show you this reassurance cycle. What happened? Your child comes to you and he's feeling anxious. Now this anxiety feelings will basically lead your child to seek reassurance from you. Okay, he will come to you, mama, I'm feeling anxious, mama मुझे घबराहट हो रही है, बेचैनी हो रही है, डर लग रहा है, आगे क्या होगा? Now how you are responding to your child reassurance? You provide more attention to your that problem. You are like, no, it's okay, beta, I'm there for you, I'm there for you, I'm there for you. Now what happened? This thing make your child feel better, because he think that it's a type of a secondary gain of feeling more connected with the parents. Now ये child के दिमाग में एक चीज बन गई, अगर मैं मम्मा के पास जाऊंगा ये कह के कि I'm feeling anxious, then my mama will basically reassure me and she will give me attention, and this is what I want. This is the thing. This will be a type of secondary gain which the child will get from, and he will think that he is more connected to the parents. And ultimately what will happen? Child will learn that way to feel better and to receive meaningful parent time is through anxiety. Now उसके दिमाग में ये imprint हो गया कि अगर मुझे एंजाइटी होगी तो मैं बेटर फील करूंगा, बिकॉज आई विल गेट कनेक्टेड विद माई पेरेंट्स. So see, this is the reassurance cycle. If your child is and you are reassuring, I will not say that don't reassure your child on the first time when he comes you. How you have to reassure, I will be telling that thing. So this is the reassurance cycle, and again this will lead to child feeling anxious. So this cycle, the child get trapped into this vicious cycle, and he अल्टीमेटली एक कंडीशनिंग हो जाती है कि मुझे एंजाइटी होगी तो मुझे पेरेंट्स के साइड से एक सपोर्ट मिलेगा और मेरी एंजाइटी कम हो जाएगी. सो इफ आई वांट सपोर्ट, इफ आई वांट लव फ्रॉम माय पेरेंट, आई शुड शो दिस एंजाइटी फीलिंग. So now what you have to do is you have to do active ignoring. How you will do active ignoring? You will provide reassurance, but you will provide facts and reassurance on the topic up to 3 times. 3 times तक कि आपको उसकी एंजाइटी को एड्रेस करना है. You will say, okay, you are feeling anxious. Okay, this is the problem. This is the solution. These are the facts. You have to psycho educate your child regarding the problem which he's facing. Next, you have to set limit on reassurance seeking. So respond by telling your child that you have already answered. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Okay, I was getting a call. That is why I got confused. So next
Yes, ma'am,
you have
you're
to
audible.
set limit. Okay, next you have to set limit on reassurance seeking. Like you have to respond by telling the child that you have already answered this question and encourage them to use the skills or coping strategies. So every time whenever your child is coming, 3 times you have to address, then you have to encourage your child to use their own coping strategies. Then you have to do active ignoring. You have to redirect your attention. You have to give space for your child to use skills to manage their feelings on their own. You have to basically thoda sa ignore karna. I know it will be tough for parents at times, but you have to do active ignoring. But again, I will make you remind one more thing. This is not meant for those children, those who are having depression or suicidal thoughts. And finally, you need to praise. Reinforcement, very important tool. When your child uses adaptive strategies to cope with the worry or move on, immediately praise your child's effort and provide positive attention. So this is how you are basically going to deal with the how you are the reassurance cycle in which your child gets trapped in. So finally, I would like to conclude, in conclusion, I would like to tell all the parents that yes, they are doing a great job. They are doing a great job, and they are, as I told you in the beginning, they are dealing with their own emotions, and on top of them, they have to deal with the emotions of their child as well. So I know it's a very tough, it's a very tough job for you people. It's a very tough job for we people, in fact. And but with the help of these techniques, you can basically help your child to overcome this pandemic situation. And yes, let me tell you one thing that. The techniques may vary from family to family, because these are but this technique is not only limited to this pandemic phase. You can basically apply this after this phase as well. These are certain parenting skills, standardized parenting skills, which if a parents adopt, they can basically help their child to become more emotionally competent. Because it's very important to make our children emotionally strong. It is very important to make our children emotionally strong, because if we are busy making our children be a great academician, excel in the studies, but we are not actually making them emotionally strong. So if you're not making them emotionally strong, that can lead to a sad end. It God forbid, but it can lead to. I have witnessed many cases where I have seen that my successful people are committing suicide. Why they are doing so? Because they are not emotionally strong. They know how to be a good academician, they know how to be a good doctor, but they don't know how to deal with the emotions. And it's parents responsibility to help the child be so strong that they have the ability to deal with their emotions. So that's all. And these are the certain resources which from where I've basically prepared this presentation. So you have people have any query, you can ask. And that's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Javed. There are certain questions that our parents have asked in the question in the
Ma'am,
comment.
you're not audible.
Yashashwini, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Snigdha, ma'am, you're audible. I would request Sarah, ma'am, you just check your mic or the speaker.
I think she had two devices on. If she can turn one's volume down, then probably there won't be this echo.
Uh, you people are not audible to me. I'm so sorry.
Um, uh, am I right now, ma'am? Am I
Yes,
audible?
yes,
Okay,
yes. Now you are.
thank you. Thank you, Dr. Javed, for the wonderful presentation. Uh, and thank you for telling us how to deal emotionally. This, which is I would say, the most important thing at the moment. Ma'am, there are certain questions that our parents have asked in the comment box, ma'am. As you are aware that most of the parents that we have today with us are the young parents from the primary section. So many of them are actually worried. The major question that they have asked, they are worried about that whether their child would be able to adjust to the school once this pandemic will be over. How the child, because since quite a long time, all the children are here at home and they have lost the touch with the routine school life. So how difficult would it be for a child to getting back to the school? And then there is one more question for you, ma'am. This is basically the second question that I'm asking to you has got 2 points, ma'am. So the first part is related to, like, as whatever you have discussed with us, that the pandemic has definitely changed everything, our life has been drastically affected by it, including our kids. So with the situation around, we do not allow our children to go out. They are confined to houses, and most of us, we live in societies where we do not have big places where a child can move out and can play with his or her mates. So with the restricted physical exertion in the life, what I feel that it has added to the aggression into the children. The one point, ma'am, the aggression, being a mother of a same age group child, I can also feel that the children have really become aggressive these days. And then the second point, ma'am, that with the not moving out much, we have a rescue with this, and we give either the children are they devote their time to television, or they sit with their tabs or with their mobile phone. So the parents are worried that they spend more time on the gadgets as well as on the television.
Yeah. Okay. So the first question which you asked is regarding the adjustment issues which children are going to face when they will be back to the school life. So the thing which I basically want to say, yes, there will be definitely adjustment crisis which every child will be facing when they'll be going back to the colleges, when they'll be joining back the schools. So for this, the very important thing which should be done from now onwards is to introduce this new normal concept in them. You know what is new normal? Like, we have to basically teach them that things are going to be different when you'll be back to school. You need to maintain the social distancing thing. You need to basically follow the social distancing norm. You need to wear the mask, and you need to basically be a bit vigilant while interacting with people. All the new normal concept which have been introduced now. And because yeah, adjusting will be difficult, like it has been difficult for kids to adjust in their home presently. It will be same way, it will be difficult for them to adjust in the school when they go back to the school. So the role of parent as well as role of teachers will be very important, because you need to prepare them from now onwards solely. Because suddenly, if you will expose them to the situation, suddenly if you will expose them to the school environment, where obviously the norms will be followed of prevention norms will be followed, so there will be certain doubts and conflicts in their mind, like what is happening, our school is not the same as it used to be. So the timings, the way we are sitting, the sitting arrangement, the maybe everything will change, and we are aware of this fact. So you need to mentally, it's your responsibility to mentally prepare your child from now onwards. Like, yes, you will be joining back your school, like you effective with this praise and reinforcement, like to effectively came out with this from this pandemic situation, and you basically came out with this virtual learning thing. In the same manner, I'm sure you are going to effectively deal with the situation when you will encounter a different situation which you will encounter when you will go to your school. So you need to mentally basically prepare them to adjust in the school when they basically go back to that surrounding. Another thing which you said, that it has increased the aggression level. Definitely it has increased the aggression level, and the main reason, as you have already pointed out, Ms. Singh, is that we all are entrapped within the four boundaries of our house. We are not getting plays, our children are not getting plays to basically go out and do outdoor activities, which is very important, which is very important for effective development of a child. Other very reasons which have basically led to increase in aggression is, like I've showed you the PPT in which I said, the value of social connectivity connectedness is being threatened. They are not getting opportunity to get along with their friends. They are not getting opportunity to basically vent out their feelings or to share whatever stuff they are experiencing. Because we all know, whenever we go to school, whenever that life is different, and we all basically now we basically miss those days, because we know how important those days were, how important that part of life of ours was, which basically these children are missing. So ultimately it is leading to development of aggression in them. Another major reason for development of aggression, as you have already pointed out, is they are continuously sitting on their phones. And we cannot help in this present situation, because now अब पढ़ाई वर्चुअल हो गई है, हर चीज वर्चुअल हो गई है, कनेक्शन वर्चुअल हो गया, so we cannot basically stop them to be virtually present wherever they are needed. But yes, we need to set certain boundaries. We need to set certain boundaries for them. एक टाइम बनाना है, ठीक है, स्कूल का ये टाइमिंग है, so स्कूल के इस टाइमिंग में ही आपको स्कूल पढ़ाई का करना है, शाम में इतना टाइम है. You need to set a timetable. Like you people, if you have been into psychology, you must be knowing this thing, that how important activity management is. Activity management is very important tool. And make sure in this activity management, whole day, from the time your child leaves the bed till the time he goes to the bed, you need to manage your child's activity in an appropriate manner. You need to see, you need to include certain recreational activities in it also. Recreational activities में आप क्या कर सकते, you can basically, पहले रिक्रिएशनल एक्टिविटीज में ये होता था कि हम लोग टीवी वीवी ऐड कर देते थे, लेकिन अब आप टीवी को ऐड नहीं कर सकते, आपको टीवी को सब्ट्रैक्ट ही करना होगा, ना टीवी को कनेक्ट करके उससे वो करना होगा, आपको टीवी को हटाना है बच्चे को. तो उसमें आप, यू कैन आस्क योर चाइल्ड फॉर सर्टन, you're helping your child to assist you in certain household work. You can ask your child to basically act as a teacher, and basically act as a teacher and help the younger lots. he एक ऐसा ड्रामा सा हम लोग क्रिएट कराते हैं, but whenever I used to ask my client that prepare a stage role, that you are your teacher and your siblings are your students, and you have to teach your siblings, and such type of activities should be there. You need to give time to your parents. See, we working women don't get time, to be very honest, because from the time this online teaching has come into action, we are actually not getting time with our kids, and this is our fault. This is our fault because it is our responsibility to cater the needs of our children, but we are actually not doing it that appropriately. So we should basically first take activity management. हमारे लिए भी है, हम लोग को भी अपनी एक्टिविटी में से एक टाइम निकालना है पूरे दिन की एक्टिविटीज जो हमारे बच्चों के लिए होना है. So this is how.
Sorry to interrupt, it's a very important statement Dr. Sara is making, that sometimes some parents react, and it was more so in June July, that अब suddenly हमको संभालना पड़ रहा है बच्चा.
Yeah,
so then I've also heard comments from other parents, other schools and newspapers and jokes that अब teacher नहीं कर रहा है, हमें ये पढ़ाना पड़ रहा है, तो हम फीस क्यों दे. I mean, they are linking their efforts with the fee. I mean, it's like कि आज काम वाली नहीं आई घर में, मुझे सारा खाना बनाना पड़ा, तो मैं तुम्हारी पगार क्यों ना काट लूं. But remember, I mean, I would ask parents, remember, the child is yours.
Yes,
it's a gift
exactly.
from the Almighty that you have got. That is your child. We were doing a role there. Now you've got more role to play, and it is very important the parents have to pitch in now. But then when it comes to the question of a child coming back to the school, I think it should not be a worry at the moment. वो चिंता अभी नहीं करनी चाहिए, because children are very resilient compared to us adults. बच्चे बड़े flexible होते हैं. Within a short period of time वो भूल जाएंगे इसको.
They will adjust, yes.
And a pandemic has not been a trauma like a plane hijack or a terrorist attack or something, which remains in the mind in a very impactful manner. This will not be a problem. And with the school, the campus we have got, I am thinking, if possible, it will not be totally appropriate, but I would love to have children come in batches, go around, run, play, and do something. But at the moment, it will not be technically correct also. But this is my heart's desire, that the online teaching, the academics, we have definitely taken care of by means of a very strong online teaching learning practices. But the the experience, the real experience of, hands-on, tactile experience for the young ones, and for them to come and play and participate in groups. That's also very important. But I think parents should not worry. It will be over. Once it's over, children will be uh,
You
coming out of it. They can always bounce back.
Yes, yes, they have that resilience power in them, more compared to us, definitely. Okay, so I hope I have answered your query, Miss Sinha.
Thank you, Dr. Javed. These were the questions actually from the parents' side. Thank you so much. Thank
Yes.
you.
Thank you, Dr. Sara. Thank you, Snigdha ma'am. I'd now request Dr. Mini Mehra to continue the session.
Yeah. Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you, Yashaswini. And thank you, Sharad Siwari, Sir, Principal, Mayur School, for giving me this opportunity. Greetings to one and all. And it's my pleasure to be a part of this prestigious and wonderful institutions. A very good evening to you all, and all the viewers, all the participants, and all the dignitaries. My hearty gratitude. I was listening to Dr. Sara, and she was having a wonderful session about the parenting skill, and particularly in context to this COVID-19 pandemic. And no doubt she has an expertise, and it's appreciable. And I think it has developed some insight among the parents and the participants, and it's a need of the hour also. And today I'll be talking about the emotional and mental well-being of the children. Let me first share my screen first so that the viewers can see the. Oh, just a minute, ma'am. Huh? Can you see the presentation?
Yes, ma'am. It's
Can you see
visible,
the
ma'am.
slide?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, is it
Yes, ma'am.
visible? Okay. Okay, today I'll be talking about emotional and mental well-being of children, and especially we are talking about the small children as of preliminary age and up to class 5th of ages. And when we talk about emotional well-being or emotional intelligence, it's a state of mind where one can understand how to react, how to understand, or how to emotionally equip ourselves, so that in adverse condition, how will you react to that condition. And those children who are high on emotional intelligence or high on emotional well-being, they are happy, they are healthy, and they are in good and positive mood also, and they are high in self-esteem and self-confidence also. As a parent, one must know that being a when you have a child, every parent aspire a healthy baby, and when a child comes to your life and you aspire for a different zone and different areas, like your child is so much appreciable, and it's become the center of the gravity of your house. But sometimes you see that some child become disturbed as he or she grows, and as the brain development takes place, and especially the preliminary ages, like up to the 3 to 5 years of ages, you see that there is a emotional leaps and bounds or development of the brain growth take place, and sometimes the child is disturbed, and due to some of the other reasons, it might be some of the other reasons. And as a parent, you must know that why my child is disturbed. As a parent, sometimes you might not know that क्या हुआ है मेरे बच्चे को. I would make my presentation a bilingual, as Yashaswini also told that it will be very easier to everyone. So I'll make it in both the languages. When your child is disturbed, sometimes the parents feel that कि ऐसा क्या हो गया है, why my child is disturbed, and they're not able to understand what the reason behind it. So the children of young ages, they are not well equipped with emotions and they are not well equipped with words and how to express their words. यानी कि वो अपनी भावनाओं को, अपने emotions को words में बता के नहीं बता पाते हैं. That's the reason they express their emotions and feelings through body languages and gestures. They might scream, they might irritate, they might become so clingy, or sometimes they become so vulnerable, aggressive, and lots of emotions they may express through the body languages. So as a parent, as an educator, as a teacher, or as any other concerned person, or as a social member, as an eminent member of the society, one must know that how we can understand the ways the child is expressing their emotions. We have to equip ourselves about the skills how to identify these things so that we can understand why and how the child is expressing their emotion. These are not always the tantrums, but sometimes these are the basic emotions of the child. So this is the SpongeBob. Everyone might have seen it. It's a cartoon character and it's very familiar and it's very popular among the small kids. And as a sponge, we all know that sponge has the power to grasp and absorb everything. And our kids also behave like sponges. It means that what you display, the child will grasp. What you display, what you behave, how you are showing your behavior or gestures or any other thing in your home, in your environment, the child is watching. So aware of that, the child is watching you always, and whatever you are doing, आप क्या बोल रहे हैं, क्या कर रहे हैं, आपके घर में आपका कैसा behavior है, बच्चा उसे देख रहा है, and child learn by modeling. Modeling in a sense कि हमको बच्चे को सिखाने की ज़रूरत नहीं पड़ती है. कई सारी चीज़ें वो उन्हीं चीज़ों से देख करके सीख लेता है कि हमारे माँ बाप या हमारे एल्डरली पर्सन कैसे कर रहे हैं. तो इस तरीके से हम देखेंगे कि बच्चा जो है वो एक इमिटेट करके सीख लेता है, मॉडलिंग करके सीख लेता है. कई बार क्या होता है, द पेरेंटल स्ट्रेस हैज़ एन एडवर्स इफेक्ट ऑन द चाइल्ड मेंटल मेकअप. चाइल्ड मेंटल मेकअप, आई वुड लाइक टू से दैट कि कुछ इफेक्ट्स पड़ते हैं. जैसे पेरेंट का स्ट्रेस है, जब पेरेंट का स्ट्रेस है, अगर वो घर में उसको निकालते हैं तो बच्चों के मन में देख देख के उस चीज़ को फीलिंग आती है कि ये क्या चीज़ है, और कहीं ना कहीं उनका मेंटल जो सेट्स है वो कहीं ना कहीं इफेक्ट होते हैं, और इससे कई सारे सीरियस इश्यूज भी हो जाते हैं, कई सारे सीरियस थ्रेट्स भी होते हैं. वो इमोशनली डिस्टर्ब हो जाते हैं, कई बार उनमें एंजाइटी इश्यूज आ जाते हैं, कई बार वो फ्रस्ट्रेट हो जाते हैं, कई बार उनमें एग्रेशंस आता है, इवन कई सीरियस थ्रेट्स जैसे कि पर्सनालिटी इश्यूज या डिसऑर्डर्स जो कि लॉन्ग टर्म में दिखते हैं. एंड समटाइम्स इवन आई वुड लाइक टू से कि ADHD और ऑटिज्म जैसे सिम्टम्स वी कैन ऑल्सो सी. So as a parent, you display whatever you display, the child is watching. So sometimes what happen, it's a technique, it's a harsh parenting technique, that yelling means जब कई बार क्या होते हैं, फ्रस्ट्रेट हो जाते हैं अपने पेरेंट्स भी, और कई बार हमें ऐसा लगता है कि ड्यू टू डेली केयर्स ऑफ लाइफ एंड ड्यू टू सफरिंग्स ऑफ आपका कुछ फाइनेंशियल प्रॉब्लम, यू माइट हैविंग सम फाइनेंशियल और पर्सनल और इमोशनल और एनी ऑफ द सर्टेन थिंग्स, यू बिकम सो इरिटेटेड दैट ऑल द फ्रस्ट्रेशन कम आउट टू द चाइल्ड. बच्चा आपको कुछ कह रहा है, ऐसे वक्त में आप क्या कर देते हैं, कई बार आप उसको डांट देते हैं, आप उसके ऊपर चिल्ला देते हैं. जब आप उसको जोर से बोल देते हैं, जब आप उस पर चिल्ला देते हैं, तो ऐसी कंडीशन में क्या होता है, वो बच्चा चुप हो जाता है, या ये कहें कि वो बच्चा डर जाता है. जब वो डर जाता है तो वो शांत बैठ जाता है. जब वो शांत बैठ जाता है तो आपको लगता है दिस इज द ईजिएस्ट थिंग वी कैन डू दैट, और बच्चा थोड़ी शैतानी कर रहा है, दैट इज द ईजिएस्ट थिंग आई कैन डू. उसको थोड़ा सा डांट दो, हिल बी कीप क्वाइट एंड सिट कामली. बट क्या कभी आपने सोचा है कि ऐसा करने से होता क्या है? एज अ साइकोलॉजिकल फैक्ट, what happens, our brain, human brain has a capacity to comprehend or to retain or sustain the emotions or events that are negatively related. यानी कि जो नेगेटिव या बुरे इमोशंस होते हैं उनको हमारा ब्रेन जो है ज़्यादा जल्दी से कैच कर लेता है रादर देन टू द पॉजिटिव वंस. तो जब हम इस तरीके का बिहेवियर करते हैं तो दिस बिहेवियर हैज़ अ ग्रेट इम्पैक्ट ऑन द डेवलपमेंट ऑफ द चाइल्ड. द ब्रेन डेवलप इन अ सर्टेन वे, बट व्हेन यू येल ऑन द चाइल्ड, व्हेन यू स्क्रीम ऑन योर चाइल्ड, जब आप डांटते हैं, चिल्लाते हैं, उसको पनिश करते हैं, तो ऐसी कंडीशन में उसका ब्रेन का डेवलपमेंट जो होता है इट ऑल्सो गेट सीरियसली अफेक्टेड. Also, I would like to say one thing that yelling is almost equivalent to emotional abuse. इमोशनल अब्यूज इसलिए कि जब बच्चा अब्यूज होता है तो कहीं ना कहीं उसका ब्रेन डेवलपमेंट भी इफेक्ट होता है, फिजिकल ग्रोथ इफेक्ट होती है, और जिस चीज की हम बात कर रहे हैं दैट इज द इमोशनल वेलबीइंग एंड द मेंटल वेलबीइंग दैट आल्सो गेट्स सीरियस थ्रेट्स. सो इट कैन बी टेकन एज अ सीरियस थ्रेट्स एंड पेरेंट्स शुड चेक ओवर देयर पेरेंटिंग टेक्निक्स आल्सो. As a consequence of these all things that are happening to the child's life, sometimes child develops some anxiety issues, or sometimes the child develops some anxiety symptoms. And especially with the caregivers, small childs develop some separation anxieties. Separation anxiety, what we say, कि होता क्या है कि मान लीजिए एक फैमिली है, उसमें पापा जो हैं वो बच्चे को डांटते हैं या कभी चिल्ला देते हैं ड्यू टू सम अदर रीजंस, वो बच्चे को के ऊपर जोर से चिल्ला के बात करते थे. ऐसी स्थिति में बच्चा जो है वो पापा से डर रहा है. जब वो पापा से डर रहा है तो जस्ट टू सीक सम इमोशनल सपोर्ट ही क्लिंग ऑन द मदर्स. वो मम्मी को छोड़ेगा ही नहीं और उसको डर लगेगा कि मम्मी चली गई तो what will happen to me. At the same time, some symptoms arises that are the childhood anxiety symptoms. These are the symptoms like fear or worry, or child becomes sometimes irritable. आपको लगता है कि बच्चा irritable हो रहा है, थोड़ा ऐसा tantrums दिखा रहा है, इसका behavior खराब है. Basically उसका behavior खराब नहीं है, that is because of you, because you are showing that sort of behavior. That is the consequence of your behavior. The child is displaced, showing this type of symptoms. Sometimes the child might have ट्रबल इन स्लीपिंग एंड ईटिंग. कुछ सोना या फिर स्लीपिंग डिसऑर्डर्स या खाने से संबंधित भी प्रॉब्लम दिखाई देते. नॉर्मली वी एक्सपेक्ट कि नॉर्मली द चाइल्ड, जो छोटा बच्चा है, उसको कम से कम 10 से 12 घंटे का एक नॉर्मल स्लीप लेना चाहिए. दैट इज द नॉर्मल फिजिक फॉर हर नॉर्मल फिजिकल ग्रोथ. लेकिन बच्चा नहीं सो पाता क्योंकि बार बार डर जाता है, बेड वेटिंग करता है पेरेंट्स पे, या स्पेशली जो केयर गिवर जिससे वो इमोशनली अटैच्ड है उस पर वो क्लिंग करने लग जाता है, यानी ज़्यादा उसको छोड़ता नहीं है, उसको सेपरेशन से उसको डर लगने लगता है. और इनके अलावा सम फिजिकल सिम्टम्स ऑल्सो राइजेज. सम फिजिकल सिम्टम्स ऑल्सो राइजेज लाइक चाइल्ड माइट बी हैविंग फटीग, वो हमेशा थका हुआ रहता है. ही माइट बी हैविंग हेडेक और ही माइट बी हैविंग स्टमक एक और सम ऑफ द अदर फिजिकल सिम्टम्स. और जब आप डॉक्टर्स के पास जाते हैं तो इसका कोई भी आपको कुछ कहना चाहिए कि इसका कॉज आपको समझ में नहीं दिखाई देता है, क्योंकि these are physical symptoms, but their reason is not medical but the psychological symptoms. So we must take care of these childhood anxiety symptoms also to be considered. Now coming to the family. So what is expected from the family to grow a healthy and emotionally strong child? As a family, every child has a right कि उसको वो सब चीजें मिले जिससे कि उसका इमोशनल एंड मेंटल ग्रोथ या मेंटल वेलबीइंग जो है वो अच्छे से हो सके. तो ये कहा जाता है कि फैमिली दैट लाफ टुगेदर ग्रो टुगेदर. जब आपस में हम बैठ के बातें करते हैं, हंसते हैं, तो इट क्रिएट्स अ emotional bonding among the family members. So what can be done for this bonding, to create such emotional bonding between the members of the family? First and foremost is encourage interaction. कई बार क्या होता है कि पेरेंट्स जो होते हैं उनको लगता है कि काम की बात कर लेनी चाहिए, या पेरेंट्स भी नहीं ये कहें तो एक पेरेंट जो स्पेशली कहें माँ है तो वो ज़्यादा बातें करती है, बच्चे से हमेशा बात करती है. पापा जो हैं वो क्योंकि वो ऑफिस में जा रहे हैं, बाहर जा रहे हैं, और अगर मदर्स वर्किंग नहीं है तो फुल टाइम वो देख रही है, तो ज़्यादा इंटरेक्शन उसका मम्मी से हो रहा है, पापा से नहीं हो रहा है. ऐसी स्थिति में इमोशनल बॉन्डिंग जो है इट विल नेवर टेक प्लेस. सो इनकरेज इंटरैक्शन. जैसा जैसा आप इंटरैक्शन को इनकरेज करेंगे तो बच्चा ना सिर्फ कम्युनिकेशन स्किल सीखेगा, सोशल स्किल सीखेगा, बल्कि वो दुनिया में, समाज में कैसे रहना है उसके वो रूल्स भी सीखेगा. ऑफर फिजिकल अफेक्शन. फिजिकल अफेक्शन का मतलब होता है सिर्फ हम वर्बली ये ना कहें दैट आई लव यू और आई अप्रिशिएट यू एज अ चाइल्ड, आई लव यू, बट उसको पकड़ना, उसको फिजिकल अफेक्शन देना, उसको गले लगा लेना, जिसको हम बोलते हैं ना टच थेरेपी, इट इज फॉरमोस्ट नीडेड. ऐसा करने से बच्चे के अंदर एक सेल्फ ऑफ बिलोंगिंग और एक कॉन्फिडेंस आता है कि यस आई हैव बीन लव्ड बाय माय पेरेंट्स. नेक्स्ट वन इज maintain a safe and healthy home environment. This is very crucial point because it's very important. When I say safe and healthy home environment, इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि आपके घर में सारी चीजें हो जो जो बच्चे की रिक्वायरमेंट है. सेफ एंड हेल्दी होम एनवायरनमेंट का मतलब है कि आप एक अच्छी लैंग्वेज इस्तेमाल करते हैं, आप एब्यूजिव लैंग्वेज इस्तेमाल नहीं करते हैं, आपके फैमिली मेम्बर्स के पास इमोशनल बॉन्डिंग है. एंड सबसे बेहतर जो चीज़ है, जो सबसे इम्पॉर्टेंट जो चीज़ है कि आजकल हम देखते हैं कि चाइल्डहुड सेक्शुअल अब्यूज़ होते हैं. तो दीज किड्स आर वेरी मच प्रोन टुवर्ड्स द सेक्शुअल अब्यूज़. और 90% केसेस में हम देखते हैं कि ऐसे ही बच्चे, ऐसे ही वो बच्चे होते हैं जिनके आसपास के लोग ही उनके साथ एब्यूसिव बिहेवियर करते हैं. दे मे बी देयर कजिन्स और रिलेटिव्स और नेबर्स और फ्रेंड्स और सम अदर्स जिनके साथ बच्चा बहुत अच्छे से वेल एडजस्ट होता है और वो अपने आप को एक्सप्रेस ही नहीं कर पाता है कि इस तरीके की कोई चीज गलत है. तो सो द पेरेंट्स मस्ट हैव बी vigilant about that thing also. Provide stable relationship. अगर आपस में ही family members में they don't have a stable relationship, then how could you expect that child will develop in a healthy manner? Promote play activities. Play activities means, play या games. These are the set of rules. Basically any game come along with a set of rules which you have to follow. तो अगर हम बच्चे के साथ खेलते हैं तो ना सिर्फ हम उसको गेम को सिखा रहे हैं, बल्कि साथ ही साथ हम उसको वो सारी चीजें, वो सारी एक्टिविटीज भी सिखा रहे हैं जो कि सोसाइटी में जरूरी है. किस तरीके से सिखा रहे हैं कि रूल्स को कैसे मानना है. सबसे बड़ी चीज है हार को एक्सेप्ट करना है. जब हम गेम कोई भी खेलते हैं तो देयर विल बी टू पोजीशंस, ईदर यू विन ईदर यू लॉस. इफ यू विन इट्स वेरी ओवरवेलमिंग एंड इट्स वेरी हैप्पी टू फॉर you to win. It's very normal, it's very good. But what happen if you fail or if you not succeed? तो अगर आप हार जाते हैं तो उसको स्पोर्टिंगली लेना है. इस चीज को भी पेरेंट्स को सिखाना पड़ता है. तो ये चीज भी धीरे धीरे बच्चा सीख लेता है. Then next one is the quality child care. Quality child care का मतलब ये है कि just sitting with your child and chatting on mobile or having a look on or a book or on a TV and बस बात भी कर रहे हैं and we are doing our work also, it's not a quality time. You can't make child इन अ पर्टिकुलर टाइम के इस वक्त मैं तुमसे बात करूंगी, इस वक्त मैं तुमसे बात नहीं करूंगी. क्योंकि ऐसे में क्या होगा कि हो सकता है बच्चा आपसे कुछ बहुत सीरियस चीजें डिस्कस करना चाह रहा हो जो उसके लिए बहुत डिस्टर्बिंग हो, बट यू आर ऑन द सेम टाइम यू आर बिजी विथ योर ओन ऑब्लिगेशंस एंड ऑन मीटिंग. तो ऐसी कंडीशन में आप हाँ हूँ तो कर रहे हैं, लेकिन बच्चे को आप उतना प्रॉपर क्वालिटी टाइम नहीं दे रहे हैं. जब आप उस बच्चे को उतना प्रॉपर क्वालिटी टाइम नहीं दे रहे हैं तो इट माइट बी पॉसिबल दैट चाइल्ड वुड नेवर एवर शेयर एनीथिंग विथ यू. और इस तरीके से होगा डिटैचमेंट. जैसे जैसे डिटैचमेंट होता जाएगा कहीं ना कहीं उसका इमोशनल वेलबींग जो है वो भी पिछड़ता जाएगा और आपको पता भी नहीं चलेगा कि हमारा बच्चा कब इमोशनली बहुत वीक हो चुका है. तो इसलिए भी हमें इस चीज का ध्यान देना होगा. Now we all have to work towards enhancing the child well-being. यहाँ हम बात कर रहे हैं इमोशनल एंड मेंटल वेलबींग कि हम सबको वर्क करना है. एंड इट्स नॉट अ मैटर ऑफ वन डे, इट्स नॉट अ वन डे प्लान कि आपने एक दिन प्लान कर लिया और कल आपके बच्चे का इमोशनल डेवलपमेंट हो गया. इट्स नॉट अ पैरासिटामॉल कि आपने उसको खिलाया और फीवर जो है शट डाउन हो गया, तुरंत ही आपका कम आ गया. इट्स अ लॉन्ग प्रोसेस. अगर हम ये कहें कि ये कंटिन्यूस प्रोसेस है, सतत प्रक्रिया है जो सिंस फ्रॉम द just right from the childhood, from the birth till the last breath of your life, आप हमेशा सीख रहे हैं और आपको ये इमोशनल वेलबींग पे काम करना पड़ेगा. ये आपके प्लान्स हैं जो आपको करना पड़ेंगे. साथ ही साथ आपको अपने बच्चों को इक्विप करना पड़ेगा उन स्ट्रैटेजी से, उन प्लान से, सो दैट दे कैन कोप वेल एट द एडवर्स कंडीशन. दे मस्ट नो दैट हाउ टू रिएक्ट, व्हेन टू रिएक्ट एंड वेयर टू रिएक्ट. So there are some strategies and some plans I am discussing with you कि इन ये सारी चीजें आपके बच्चों को आपको बतानी चाहिए. Like give your child a plan to handle a problem solution. नॉर्मली ये देखा जाता है कि हम कभी भी बच्चे को एक प्रॉब्लम सिचुएशन में कैसे रिएक्ट करना है, वी नेवर से और नेवर कन्वे दिस थिंग टू अवर चाइल्ड. उनको आप बताइए कि हम नॉर्मली क्या करते हैं कि अच्छी चीज़ तो बताते हैं कि ऐसा होगा तो ये होगा, ये चला, ये अच्छा मिल जाएगा तो ये मिलेगा, लेकिन कभी भी हम उनको ये नहीं बताते हैं कि फेल हो जाएगा तो क्या होगा. हमेशा ही प्लान बी फेल हुआ तो प्लान सी फेल हुआ तो प्लान डी. ऐसा नहीं है कि प्लान ए फेल हो गया तो लाइफ खत्म हो गई. तो आप हमेशा ही उनको ऐसे प्लान्स के साथ रेडी रखिए कि अपने प्रॉब्लम सिचुएशंस को हैंडल कर सके. कुछ कोपिंग स्ट्रैटेजीज उनको दीजिए. Second one is control emotions in classroom. Now, as we are talking about small children and up to the class 5th children, these children are going to school, they are sitting in the classrooms, and in classroom there are so many kids, they are from different religions, different caste and different socio-economic backgrounds, social perceptions. उनका सब कुछ अलग है, फैमिली बैकग्राउंड अलग है, उनका वे ऑफ कंप्रिहेंशन अलग है, सब चीज़ें उनकी अलग है. ऐसी स्थिति में जब सारे बच्चे क्लब होते हैं तो कई बार क्या होता है कि बच्चा उनके साथ जेलिन नहीं कर पाता है. तो जब वो जेलिन नहीं कर पाता है तो ऐसी स्थिति में उसको प्रॉब्लम्स होती हैं. सी व्हाट हैपन इन his family, child in their family, they are the center of attraction, they are just like a king of their house. But when they come to the society, it's not like that, because every child come from different different situations. And when it come to the classroom, कभी कभी क्या होता है, चाइल्डहुड बुलिंग हो सकता है हमारे लिए एक नॉर्मल वर्ड हो, लेकिन जब हम छोटे बच्चों की बात करते हैं तो एक बहुत बड़ा इश्यूज होता है चाइल्डहुड बुलिंग का, कि बच्चे उस चीज से कोप अप नहीं कर पाते. तो कैसे अपने इमोशंस को, वेदर दे आर अ गुड इमोशंस और बैड इमोशन, हाउ टू कंट्रोल देयर इमोशंस इन क्लासरूम, ये भी हमको उन बच्चों को सिखाना पड़ेगा. Avoid problem situation. In psychology we say that जब भी कोई प्रॉब्लम आता है तो our brain acts in two ways. ये किस तरीके से एक्ट करता है, फाइट और फ्लाइट मोमेंट. फाइट मीन्स कि अगर वो प्रॉब्लम हमारे विसिनिटी में जो आया है एंड इफ वी आर केपेबल टू फाइट विद दैट, देन डेफिनेटली विल फाइट विद दैट प्रॉब्लम और उसको हम सोल्यूशन निकालेंगे. और कई बार क्या होता है कि वो प्रॉब्लम ऐसी होती है कि जिससे कि हम कोप अप नहीं कर सकते. जैसे कि अगर आपके पास अचानक से शेर आ गया आपके सामने, तो आप ये तो नहीं बोलोगे कि नहीं मैं डर के, मैं तो बहुत बहादुर हूं, मैं डर के नहीं भागूंगा, मैं तो इससे लड़ूंगा. उस वक्त सेंसिबल डिसीजन यही है कि आप वहां से भाग जाएं. तो ये भी हमको बच्चों को सिखाना है कि प्रॉब्लम सिचुएशंस को अगर अवॉइड किया जा सकता है तो इट्स बेटर टू अवॉइड दैट प्रॉब्लम सिचुएशंस टू बी अ हेल्दी लाइफ. encourage him to forgive himself for mistakes. नॉर्मली हम क्या करते हैं कि इन जनरल परसेप्शंस हम ये बात करते हैं कि मिस्टेक्स आर नॉट गुड, मिस्टेक्स आर नॉट टू बी मेड, नहीं करनी चाहिए. तो कभी कभी बच्चा क्या होता है कि कुछ वो मिस्टेक करता है तो वो अपने आप में इतना गिल्ट में आ जाता है कि उसको लगता है कि आई हैव डन सम सीरियस मिस्टेक एंड आई कैन नॉट बी एबल टू कम आउट ऑफ इट. उसके ऊपर वो इतना फोकस उस पर्टिकुलर मिस्टेक्स पे करता है कि उसके जो स्ट्रेंथ है उसको वो भूल जाता है. तो एवरी पर्सन इन दिस सोसाइटी इज अलाउड टू मेक मिस्टेक्स एंड इट्स कंप्लीटली नॉर्मल टू मेक मिस्टेक्स एंड कम आउट ऑफ दैट मिस्टेक्स. तो ये चीज हमको अपने बच्चों को बतानी चाहिए. राइट अ स्टोरी और अ डायरी. दिस इज बेसिक, बहुत ही बेसिक चीज है, लेकिन कई बार हमने ये देखा है, दीज आर द इंटरवेंशन प्लान्स व्हाट वी गिव टू द different children, कि sometimes the child are not equipped with that much of comprehension of language and words so that he can express feelings to them others. So ऐसी कंडीशन में अगर आप उसको बोलते हैं कि आप डायरी लिखो या आप कोई स्टोरी लिखो या आपकी जो फीलिंग है वो आप कहीं पे लिखो, तो ये जो चीज है ये ना सिर्फ बच्चे को इमोशंस को वेंट आउट करने का एक तरीका देती है, बट उसकी कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स, राइटिंग स्किल्स एंड इमेजिनेशन स्किल्स को भी बढ़ाती है. And now appreciate and praise. Appreciation and praise is just two words, but it works tremendously on the development of the child. See, like if a child has handled a crucial or difficult problem and he cope up with that problem effectively, then as a parent you must appreciate and praise कि आपको ये कहना है कि आपने, मैंने देखा कि उस वक्त आपके स्कूल में या आपके फ्रेंड्स के साथ ऐसा ऐसा हुआ, लेकिन आपने उस चीज़ को बहुत अच्छे से हैंडल कर लिया, तो इसलिए ये बहुत अच्छी बात है, इस चीज़ के लिए आपको अप्रिसिएशन मिलता है। उसको आप रीइंफोर्स करिए। रीइंफोर्समेंट जो है अपने आप में इट्स एन इफेक्टिव टूल, इट्स एन इफेक्टिव टेक्निक दैट वर्क्स, एंड स्पेशली नॉट फॉर द चिल्ड्रन बट ऑल्सो फॉर elderly also. Ensure sound sleep or enough sleep. Sometimes what happens कि बच्चा हमारा जो है ना प्रॉपर स्लीप नहीं ले पाता, some of the other reason, it may be due to some of the other reason, but if the child is not having enough sleeps, तो ऐसे में वो इरिटेबल होगा, चिड़चिड़ा होगा, कई सारे उसके अंदर फिजियोलॉजिकल भी चेंज आ जाएंगे, या मेटाबॉलिज्म का चेंज आएगा, या कोई भी चेंज आएंगे। ऐसी कंडीशन में भी कई बार वो एग्रेसिव हो जाता है, फ्रस्ट्रेट हो जाता है, आइसोलेट रहने लगता है। तो ये कंडीशन भी ना हो तो आप उसकी स्लीप पैटर्न पे और इनफ स्लीप ले रहा है कि उस पर भी ध्यान देंगे। प्रैक्टिस इमोशनल कंट्रोल एट होम। दिस पॉइंट स्पेशली बेसिकली फॉर द पेरेंट्स कि आप किस प्रकार से इमोशंस को कंट्रोल करते हैं, इनको भी हमको बच्चों को एज अ मॉडलिंग सिखाना है। नॉर्मली हम क्या होते हैं कि हम सभी के लाइफ में एज अ पेरेंट, एज एल्डरली पर्सन एंड एज अ मेंबर ऑफ द सोसाइटी, वी ऑल हैव सम ऑफ द अदर प्रॉब्लम्स इन आवर लाइफ। वी फेस डे टू डे प्रॉब्लम्स और डे टू डे केओस ऑफ लाइफ, और हम उससे निकल के भी बाहर आते हैं। कई बार हम फ्रस्ट्रेट होते हैं, परेशान होते हैं, लेकिन उससे हम निकल के बाहर भी आते हैं। ये हमारा स्टाइल होता है। तो जब इस चीज को हम अपने बच्चों के साथ शेयर करेंगे, कन्वे करेंगे, तो उन्हें ये बच्चों को ये समझ में आएगा कि नहीं, ये चीज नॉर्मल है, हमारे पेरेंट्स के लाइफ में भी प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, और वो लोग भी एक दो दिन शायद परेशान होते हैं, लेकिन नॉर्मली वो इस तरीके से कोप अप करके वापस आते हैं, और इट्स बीइंग नॉर्मली कंप्लीटली नॉर्मल टू हैव सम और द अदर प्रॉब्लम। तो इस तरीके से बच्चा इमोशनल कंट्रोल करना सीखेगा। Give your child coping strategies. Coping strategies, यहाँ particularly we are talking about the young childs. So I'll talk about the coping strategy particular to these children. कि मान लीजिए कि बच्चे को बहुत गुस्सा आ रहा है, तो आप उस बच्चे को पहले से बताइए कि बेटा गुस्सा आता है ना, तब तो आप एक काम करो, आप कुछ मत करो, आप अपने कमरे में जाके दरवाजा बंद करके बैठ जाओ, या आप कुछ मत करो, जाओ आप अपनी पेन पेंसिल कुछ ले लो, ड्राइंग बुक ले लो, आप स्क्रिबल करो, आप कलर करो, आपको जैसा लग रहा है वैसा करो, या आपको ऐसा लग रहा है जाओ आप म्यूजिक सुन लो। एनी और द अदर एक्टिविटीज जिसमें बच्चा, आपका बच्चा फील करता है, वो करे। तो इस तरीके से जब आप उसको कोपिंग स्ट्रैटेजीज बताएंगे, तब उसको समझ में आएगा कि जब मेरे पास ऐसे इमोशंस आते हैं जो कि हार्श होते हैं, जो कि मुझे डिस्ट्रेस लाते हैं, जो मुझे स्ट्रेस में ले जाते हैं, आई फील सम साइकोलॉजिकल इश्यूज और साइकोलॉजिकल डिस्ट्रेस, उस वक्त मुझे ये काम करना चाहिए जिससे कि मैं एट ईज हो जाता हूँ या मुझे अच्छा लगता है। And next one is wait for gratification. That is right time, right place. I think this point was taken by principal sir also. That is delayed gratification. Basically होता क्या है कि आज के जमाने में हमारे बच्चों को हम इतना कुछ दे रहे हैं, वो एक मांगता है हम उसको 10 देते हैं। क्यों लगता है? क्योंकि हम नॉर्मली पेरेंट्स, बोथ मदर हो या फादर हो, सभी वर्किंग है और पैसे की कोई कमी नहीं है, तो उनको ये लगता है कि हम बच्चे को हर वो चीज़ दे दें जो उसकी ज़रूरत है। बट बच्चा डजंट नीड दैट पैसा और दैट मटीरियलिस्टिक वर्ल्ड, ही नीड्स योर टाइम, प्रीशियस टाइम एंड लव। तो क्योंकि हम उसको बहुत जल्दी दे देते हैं उस चीज़ों को, तो उसको लगता है कि मैं अपने टर्न के लिए, अपने ग्रेटिफिकेशन के लिए वेट ना करूं, जो चीज़ मुझे आज नहीं, रिवॉर्ड जो मुझे बाद में मिलना चाहिए था, वो मुझे अभी चाहिए एट प्रेजेंट। मैंने ये एक्शन किया, रिवॉर्ड मुझे, आई मस्ट इमीडिएटली गेट दैट रिवॉर्ड। तो इस चीज़ पे भी हमको काम करना चाहिए कि वेट फॉर योर टाइम। Now, sometimes what happens, your child had some hard times also. When he or she has some hard times, so as a parent, you must know how to help your child to come out of that hard time. Normally, what we think that कि बच्चा छोटा है, उसके लाइफ में क्या प्रॉब्लम्स हो सकते हैं, या उसके टाइम लाइफ में क्या हार्ड प्रॉब्लम्स हो सकते हैं, क्या ऐसे साइकोलॉजिकल इश्यूज हो सकते हैं, क्या एंजाइटी हो सकती है। नॉर्मली जब हम पेरेंट्स से बात करते हैं तो उनको यही लगता है, लेकिन हम ये भूल जाते हैं कि ऑल द इश्यूज कम्स अलोंग विथ एजेस। जब हम छोटे थे या 4-5 साल के थे तो उस वक्त हमारे लिए कुछ चीज़ें सीवियर इश्यूज होती थी जो आज हमको लगता है, हम हंसते हैं क्या, किस चीज़ के लिए हम इतना परेशान होते थे। तो आज भी हमारे बच्चे उस दौर से गुजर रहे हैं, तो उनके पास भी कई सारी ऐसी प्रॉब्लम्स हैं जो कि बहुत उनके पर्सपेक्टिव में बहुत ह्यूज हो सकती हैं। तो उन्हें ये पता होना चाहिए कि हाउ टू रिएक्ट एट पर्टिकुलर दैट कंडीशंस। दे मस्ट इक्विप विद सम स्ट्रैटेजीज और सम स्किल्स के हम उस वक्त कैसे रिएक्ट करेंगे। तो कुछ डूज बिहेवियर हैं और कुछ डोंट्स बिहेवियर है। यू मस्ट शो योर चाइल्ड दैट देयर आर सम डूज बिहेवियर एंड दीज आर द डोंट बिहेवियर दैट आर नॉट अलाउड। अंडर डूज बिहेवियर कि कभी भी आपको, जब भी यू आर गोइंग थ्रू हार्ड टाइम और यू आर हैविंग सम बैड इमोशंस और हार्ड इमोशंस एंड यू आर नॉट फीलिंग वेल, you are some or the other psychological distress, then you have been given or teach some or the strategies or skills to cope up with that. You practice that's 2 or 3 coping strategies for taking control over that unpleasant emotions. Sometimes these unpleasant emotions are very much distress to that child's life, and seriously it's a serious threat, and sometimes these emotions impact throughout life. बचपन में कई बार अगर हम भी अपना पीछे पुराना देखें टाइम के साथ, तो हमें भी कई बार अगर हमको कोई बोले आप पुरानी कोई चीज़ याद करो जो आपको डिस्ट्रेस देती हो, जो आपको अच्छी नहीं लगती हो, तो हम भी कुछ ऐसी चीज़ें याद करके बताएंगे जो बहुत ही अनप्लेजेंट मेमोरी होगी हमारी। तो अगर वो अनप्लेजेंट मेमोरी ना होती या वो चीज़ उस तरीके से ना होती तो शायद आज हम और अच्छे तरीके से कर पाते। तो ये जो मेमोरीज होती हैं या अनप्लेजेंट इमोशंस होते हैं, दे आर द सीरियस थ्रेट्स। तो चाइल्ड मस्ट हैव सम कोपिंग स्ट्रैटेजीज एंड ऑल्सो रोल मॉडल how you cope with emotional upsets. Just in earlier slide also I have told कि parents act as a role model कि आपके साथ भी problems हैं। बच्चे को बताइए कि आपके साथ आपके एज की problems हैं, मेरे साथ मेरे एज की problems हैं, मैं इसको इस तरीके से डील करता हूँ, तो आपको इसको इस तरीके से डील करना है, and it's completely normal to have problems and these are the strategies, और हम मिलके आपस में कर सकते हैं और आप मुझसे कुछ चीज़ें डिस्कस कर सकते हैं। we can share, we can discuss all the things and there is nothing like problem, and every problem can be solved, and each and every problem under the sun has a solution. And there are some don't problems also. Identify the trigger behaviors and identify their behaviors that are not permitted at the time of upset. कभी कभी क्या होता है कि बच्चों को आपने ये चीज बताई ही नहीं है कि जब कुछ अनप्लेजेंट बिहेवियर होगा, जब कुछ अनप्लेजेंट इमोशंस आएंगे या ऐसा कुछ फीलिंग्स होगा, तो आपको क्या स्ट्रिक्टली नहीं करना है। दीज आर टोटली अनएक्सेप्टेबल बाय द सोसाइटी एंड यू आर स्ट्रिक्टली not permitted to display this type of behaviors. तो इसमें कुछ एग्रेशन हो सकता है, येलिंग हो सकता है, मारना पीटना हो सकता है, कुछ अब्यूसिव लैंग्वेज हो सकते हैं, हिटिंग हो सकता है और सुसाइडल अटेम्प्ट्स हो सकते हैं। ये सारे कुछ भी हो सकते हैं। तो हमें ये बच्चों को बता देना है कि कुछ चीज़ें हैं जो कि आपको नहीं करनी है। तो दीज डूज एंड डोंट्स कम्स कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री टू ईच अदर। जब बच्चे को ये पता होगा व्हाट आर द डूज, अगर वो डूज प्रॉपर कर लेगा, कोपिंग स्ट्रैटेजी इफ ही एडमिनिस्टर टू हिमसेल्फ, तो उसको डोंट्स में जाने की जरूरत ही नहीं पड़ेगी। ही विल काम डाउन हिमसेल्फ विथ नो हैजल्स। नाउ there is a thing like emotional quotient, EQ. Like IQ, when we talk about IQ, there is something called EQ also. And EQ comes along with emotional intelligence. There are two words. One is emotional intelligence and one is emotional well-being. When we talk about emotional intelligence is the ability to understand and regulate our own emotions in a positive way. How our emotions come to our life, come to our mind, and how we react and how we regulate them, control them, and that's so in a positive way. This is called emotional intelligence. It relieves stress, it helps in effective communication, it develops empathy and overcome challenges and resolve conflict. One word I would like to discuss here, resolve conflict. Conflict resolve is a particular term and it's very much important in particular life, because nowadays, because what happens, कई बार क्या होता है कि कुछ एक छोटी सी भी चीज़ होती है जो हमारे मन में बैठ जाती है, शायद वो हमारे फ्रेंड्स के साथ हो, हमारे पेरेंट्स के साथ हो, रिलेटिव्स के साथ हो, तो वो चीज़ जो होती है हमारे मन में बैठ जाती है, वी आर नॉट कम्युनिकेटिंग। जब हम कम्युनिकेट नहीं कर रहे हैं, उसको रिजॉल्व नहीं कर रहे हैं, तो वो कॉन्फ्लिक्ट जो है इट डेवलप्स, और जैसे जैसे टाइम बढ़ता जाता है वो जो दूरी होती है वो धीरे धीरे बढ़ती जा रही है। तो हमको हमारे बच्चे को इस उम्र में ही सिखा देना है कि हाउ टू रिजॉल्व देयर कॉन्फ्लिक्ट, दैट इज द पार्ट ऑफ इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस. Now comes to the emotional well-being. Emotional intelligence and emotional well-being are complementary to each other. They come one by one. Like emotional well-being is the ability to manage our feelings. How we manage our feelings, it may be a good, it may be bad, it may be pleasant feeling, or it may be unpleasant one, both pleasant or unpleasant. But how we manage our feeling, how we come across with that feeling, it's all about positive mood, good health, high self-esteem and confidence. Those children who are high in emotional well-being are always in a good mood, happy, healthy and safe. So at last, I would like to say all the participants, especially those parents who are the parents of small kids, that teach your kids to maintain balance between these two, means emotional intelligence and emotional well-being. Maintain a balance between these to be healthy, happy and safe. It's very much required that good grades, of course good grades are required, बहुत अच्छा पढ़ना है, academics में अच्छा जाना है, competition में जाना है, it's very much required to be a successful career. अगर आप एक अच्छा career बनाना चाहते हैं तो grass root अभी से ही आपको बच्चे को पढ़ाना पड़ेगा, आपको करना पड़ेगा. But good grades can bring successful career, but good mental health, mental and emotional well-being brings successful life. If you want to be success in your life, then your child must be very sound in emotional and mental health. That's all about my presentation. Thank you. And I'm open for questions now.
Thank you, Dr. Mehra.
Yeah.
There is one question that I want to ask you, ma'am. Ma'am, after listening to you, you have actually cleared all the doubts. I don't think so that the parents, those who are watching us, have got any doubts, because you have explained everything so nicely. Ma'am, but one thing I want to ask you, ma'am, that what, as a counselor, I have observed that over the time, the aggression has increased in the children. And at the same time, ma'am, there are few tendencies that we observe in the children. That one is lying. Children lie a lot, and then they have become very stubborn. So what do you want to add to this, ma'am? This is my only question to you. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. See, actually what happens, see, I just told that aggression is also a part of anxiety, childhood anxiety symptoms. Sometimes the child cannot be able to express their emotions and feelings. जब और खासकर जब उस बच्चा कोई जो उसको करना है और उसको करने नहीं दिया जाता है, या फिर उसको नहीं करना है और उसको जबरदस्ती उससे कराया जाता है, तो दैट इज अनप्लीजेंट इमोशंस. ऐसी कंडीशन में, बिकॉज ही और शी इज नॉट हैविंग दैट मच ऑफ कोपिंग स्ट्रैटेजीज और that much of comprehension of words के how to deny or at what extent he can deny, तो ऐसी condition में that the easiest way he or she display is aggression. कि अगर वो गुस्सा करेगा, चिल्लाएगा या aggression, मारपीट कर देगा, धक्का दे देगा, तो ऐसी स्थिति में the parents, what will be the action of the parents? सबसे पहले तो हम उसको बोलेंगे, as a counselor भी हम ऐसा बोलेंगे, सबसे पहले तो उसको cool down कर देंगे. क्योंकि at that peak moment, then when the child is high on aggression, उस वक्त आप उसको कुछ भी नहीं सिखा सकते. जैसे बोलते हैं ना कि जब नदी में बाढ़ आई होगी तब आप बांध नहीं बना सकते हैं, तो नदी का पानी को रुकना ही पड़ेगा. तो बच्चा जो है, आजकल के बच्चे दे आर मोर स्मार्टर देन आवरसेल्फ, है ना, जिसको बोलते हैं ना, हमको चला देते हैं. तो उनको ये चीज समझ में आ जाती है कि जो पेरेंट्स हैं या काउंसलर्स हैं, ये जो टीचर्स हैं, इनको पता है कि जब मैं एग्रेशन करूंगा तो उस वक्त ये मुझे कुछ नहीं बोलेंगे. देन दे मेक देम एज अ कोपिंग स्ट्रैटेजी. सो वी हैव टू थिंक दैट इस चीज को हमको किस तरीके से हटाना है. कि बेसिकली व्हाट हैपन, एवरी बिहेवियर हैज अ कॉज, हैज अ एंटीसीडेंट. बेसिकली बिहेवियर इज अ रिएक्शन, नॉट अ एक्शन, है ना. तो हमको सबसे पहले उस एंटीसीडेंट को देखना है, उस एक्शन को देखना है कि किस वजह से. एंड ऑल्सो आई वुड लाइक टू ऐड ऑन वन थिंग ऑल्सो कि कुछ ट्रिगर पॉइंट्स होते हैं. बेसिकली यू आइडेंटिफाई, एंड एज अ पेरेंट ऑल्सो, पेरेंट्स को भी मैं ये बताना चाहूंगी कि कुछ ट्रिगर पॉइंट्स होते हैं जिनको हमको आइडेंटिफाई करना पड़ता है. इफ यू आइडेंटिफाई दैट ट्रिगर पॉइंट, देन यू विल बी एबल टू नो दैट कि अब ये एग्रेशन की तरफ जाएगा. तो जब वो जाना चाहता है उससे पहले ही आपने उसको वापस लेके आना है, तो वो एग्रेशन में नहीं जा सकता है. अब वो नहीं जाएगा तो आप उसको मैनेज कर सकते हैं. सेकेंड थिंग इज, बच्चे लाई करते हैं, झूठ बोल रहे हैं ना, ये भी एक बड़ी प्रॉब्लम आ रही है. तो अगेन इसका भी कुछ आंसर हम इसी तरीके से दे सकते हैं कि ये एस्केप स्ट्रैटेजी, बेसिकली दे आर प्रैक्टिसिंग एस्केप स्ट्रैटेजी. कुछ चीजें मुझे नहीं करनी है या फिर मैं उस चीज को करना ही नहीं चाहती हूँ. तो मुझे सबसे आसान तरीका क्या लग रहा है, मैडम ने बोला होमवर्क कर लिया, तो मैंने तो किया नहीं है. हाँ हाँ मैडम कर लिया. वो क्या हुआ, कॉपी दिखाओ, वो मैडम घर में छूट गई. तो मैडम ने क्या बोला, ओके यू फॉरगेट द कॉपी, ओके नेक्स्ट टाइम इन द नेक्स्ट क्लास यू विल ब्रिंग द कॉपी, आई विल चेक इट. तो टीचर ने बड़ा लीनियंटली ले लिया. तो इस बच्चे ने देखा कि इट्स वेरी इजी नॉट टू डू योर होमवर्क और असाइनमेंट एंड से लाई टू योर पेरेंट्स और टीचर्स के मैंने नहीं किया. तो जब उनको ये लगता है कि अच्छा ऐसा होता है और इस बहुत इजी है, तो एज अ पर्सनालिटी इश्यूज दे विल मेक एस्केप एज अ स्ट्रैटेजी. तो एज अ पेरेंट्स, ये पेरेंट्स की ड्यूटी है कि बच्चों को हम इतना स्ट्रॉन्ग इमोशनली डेवलप करें सो दैट बच्चे की पर्सनालिटी में ये इश्यूज ना आए. एक चीज मैं और ऐड ऑन करना चाहूंगी कि अप टू 5 to 8 years जो है पर्सनालिटी पूरी तरीके से डिफाइन हो जाती है. यानी फिर हम चाहें कि अब हमारी उम्र में आके हम पर्सनालिटी चेंज करेंगे, इट नेक्स्ट टू इम्पॉसिबल. तो बच्चे की पर्सनालिटी जो है 5 years तक एज तक बन रही है, तो पेरेंट्स को बहुत विजिलेंट लेना पड़ेगा. जैसे मैंने प्रीवियस एक स्लाइड में भी कहा था, चिल्ड्रंस आर लाइक स्पॉन्ज बॉब्स, दे कैन एब्जॉर्ब ईच एंड एवरीथिंग. सो पेरेंट्स एंड टीचर्स मस्ट बी वेरी विजिलेंट एंड मस्ट बी अवेयर ऑफ देमसेल्व्स दैट व्हाट वी आर स्लेइंग, व्हाट वी आर डिस्प्लेइंग, क्योंकि देयर आर समवन हु इज कंटिन्यूअसली वॉचिंग यू. तो कभी अगर पेरेंट्स ने ये चीज डिस्प्ले किया है, कई बार ऐसा भी होता है कि कोई आया है, पेरेंट्स ने बोल दिया उसको नहीं मिलना है, तो बोल दो यार जल्दी जाना है हमको, हम ज्यादा देर मिलना नहीं चाहते, एंटरटेन नहीं करना चाहते. तो पेरेंट हिमसेल्फ मेक अ एक्सक्यूज एंड चाइल्ड इज ऑब्जर्विंग ऑल दैट. तो जब उसको लगता है कि पेरेंट्स ने भी ये एक्सक्यूज बना दिया है, तो दैट मीन्स इट्स टोटली एक्सेप्टेबल, इट्स नॉर्मल एंड आई कैन ऑल्सो मेक इट. तो कहीं ना कहीं ये पेरेंट्स एंड टीचर्स दोनों को मिलके इन चीजों पे हमको काम करना पड़ेगा.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other queries?
Snigdha ma'am, do we have any more questions?
No. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your enriching words. And thank you, Snigdha ma'am, for taking up the questions. I'd now request our Honorable Principal Sir to give away the vote of thanks to our esteemed guests and parents.
Sure, thank you. It was a really enlightening and enriching session for me. Dr. Sara, Dr. Mehra, you presented the information in a very beautiful way using slides and then taking up examples. And you actually complemented each other. That's what I was observing. Your styles were slightly different, and that made a very nice combination. The beautiful insights that we received, including my colleagues, and the questions, the way you answered, and you took all the time, showed your patience with all of us today. Thank you very much. This program is being streamed live, as well as the recording is being streamed on YouTube. One can watch it today, anytime, tomorrow. And I've requested the IT team to keep it there on the internet till Monday. I'm sure the link has gone around and people must be relaxing. They'll probably watch in the evening and benefit, I'm sure, a lot of parents. And we are going to refer to the learnings that we have made today in the years to come. So very kind of you, ladies. Thank you very much. My special thanks to the moderator of this webinar, Ms. Yashaswini Kichi, for successfully putting up this event. And a lot of running around you had to do. Online
Not
running
much.
around.
Not much, sir.
Online running around. Online. A lot of back and forth discussions, bringing these fine resource persons to us, phone calls, messages. Wow.
It became quite easy because of your support and encouragement, sir.
Yeah, that was around 4th of October. We thought, let us do a workshop like this or a webinar like this. And ma'am, Snigdha had already done a counseling session for senior students. So I didn't want to bother her. I said, let the load be shared. But then there she is, your senior, Mrs. Snigdha Singh. She deserves a special mention for promoting a culture of free communication between the students and the staff in the school. She's a very fine teacher of psychology and a source of strength to her junior Yashaswini. And by means of her parenting role and her fine contribution to this show, she has proved a senior in the true sense of the word. So I thank you, ma'am, also.
Thank you
I
so much.
would also like to put on record my thanks for the back-end team at Mayur, the IT experts, the designers of the flyers and invite. And there are certificates also being uh, readied for the two resource persons. So Mr. Chenaram, Mr. Shivam, all the primary school mentors for their contributions. And I would also like to thank Zoom, YouTube, and WhatsApp, our de facto platforms today, which helped us to reach so many people and all of you watching. Thanks to their teams and also I'd like to thank Bijli Vibhag for giving us continuous supply of electricity so we could have this program without interruption. Can we have the certificate shown and they'll be mailed to the ladies here? Would
Thank
you
you
like
so much.
to put up a hand for Dr. Sara Javed for putting her energies into the show?
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. It's my pleasure.
Yeah, this morning we decided to do this, right, Yashaswini ma'am? And there you are. I said, can we do this? And she says, okay, yes, we'll do. She never says, no. That's the way. And to Dr. Mehra, her
Thank you, sir.
certificate. There she is. There it is. Thank you. And dear parents, thank you for joining us. I'm sure some of you will be watching this little later today, tomorrow. Please be assured, dear parents, that we desire to do much more for our dear students and you, dear parents. Thank you, everyone, once again. Bye bye.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Thanks.
everyone.